welcome to our new show on Employability 360 Degree. In this episode, we are discussing about CV and resume. Today we have Shibli sir with us. Sir, we know that CV and resume is the basic part, is the most essential part when we are looking for a job. So what is the difference between a resume and a CV?
Thank you, Shohak, for your nice question. Dear viewers, what is the difference between a CV and a resume? There is virtually no difference. But to differentiate between a CV and a resume, I would like to point out some of the few things that you need to know. First of all, resume is a short version of CV. Resume contains the description of a candidate's latest information, qualification, skills and abilities, whereas a CV contains the elaborative description of a candidate's skills, abilities, qualifications and all that. So that is the basically difference. Okay, in North America, resume, the term resume is widely used, and in subcontinental countries, even in European countries, CV is largely used. So that's the basic difference actually, but the purpose of writing CV or resume, the purpose of both are the same.
Right. So as you have said, there is little difference in CV and resume. So can you suggest for who CV is meant for or for who resume is meant for? Is there any difference between that group?
Yes, resume, fresh graduates can use resume, all right, because it should be short as possible, preferably one page, one single page. So fresh graduates are preferably encouraged to use resume, whereas an experienced person like a manager or a graduate applying for a scholarship for the PhD program or master's degree should need to submit CV because it contains detailed information. So a CV should contain 3 pages or more than, not more than that, but at least 2 to 3 pages, whereas a resume should be only 1 page, one single page is preferable. It can be more than 1 page, but 1 page is preferably, okay, it is preferable.
Right. So sir, everybody makes CV or resume, and we see that different people make different kind of mistake. As CV is something that represents you, so do you think that those mistakes should be eradicated, and what are the mistakes, common mistakes that people make when developing a CV?
In preparing a CV or resume, the most common mistakes that I have found are first of all in career objective. So in writing a CV or resume, students, graduates or candidates, job seekers make often mistakes in writing career objective. In career objective, you just copy and paste from other candidates or others information, but don't do it, please. So your career objective should be relevant to the post you have applied. Like for example, you have applied for the post of an HR executive in a multinational company. So your career objective should be to obtain a full-time position or to become a brand executive or to become a brand HR executive in a multinational company. So it should be relevant to the post you have applied. But very often we have found that career objectives have been copied and pasted from others' CVs and resumes. This is the most common mistake that candidates make. And other mistakes, very often I find that students or job seekers use personal pronoun in their CV and resume, like please don't use I, my, this kind of thing, personal pronouns or articles in your CV writing, in writing CV or resume. Then I find most of the people use job description in CV and their resume. Why job description? Employers are not looking for people who put their jobs description in their CV and resume. Of course, they would like to know about job description, but you will be asked about that information in your interview, in your job interview, but not in your CV. You have to write down your achievements instead of writing down the job responsibilities. Write down your achievements. You have become the best employee of the year, or you got some medals, you got some certificates, or your employer have given you some kind of appreciations, or what you have done for the company you have previously worked for, like you achieved 10% sales increase, or you reduce 5% 5% sales, you reduced 5% of the sales reduction or something like that. You increased number of students enrollment, or kind of achievements you have made throughout your previous job experience. Yes, I would rather say students or job seekers use different kind of things, that they should not make these mistakes.
Okay, sir. So as you have mentioned few mistakes of a resume and CV that people commonly make, is there any other mistakes that people make? Do you want to explain any further?
Yes, students make some other mistakes. I have pointed out that students often make in writing their career objective, then they often put their job description, which they already did with previous organization, but other than that they make mistakes in writing references. If you think that you are skilled enough, experienced enough, you are qualified enough to apply for a job, so I would rather suggest not to give any kind of references. You would write references are available upon request. So that's the best thing you can write. But if you are confused, like you are applying for a bank in Bangladesh, so banks are most often asked for references. So I would suggest you put forward 2 names of your referees, that preferably first one would be your direct teacher, preferably head of the department that you belong to, and your dean of the faculty, or any of the 2. And secondly, you put any professional person who you know better, who can give reference to you. Then there are some other mistakes that students, graduates and job seekers make in writing down their values and skills, and they should always remember that they have to quantify their skills. All right, not just very often I see they write, I have participated in workshop, I have participated in seminar, but they should write down what they learn from the workshop, seminar, what they achieved. Okay, so if a student write down that I have good communication skill, leadership skill, problem solving skill, I have grit, other skills and values, but that don't carry any weight in my opinion. Why? Because you have to quantify your skills, achievements, write down in quantifying your skills, like these skills, how these skills are going to make contribution, how you are going to be an asset to the organization you are going to join, how can you add value to the organization with those skills, with those achievements. That's what matters most, I think. So these are the common mistakes students, graduates, job seekers make. So if they can overcome these mistakes or correct these mistakes, then their CV and resume will be wonderful. I mean, they will be accepted for the interview. So last but not the least, I would say the purpose of CV writing and resume is not to get a job, is to generate interviews. So if you can write your CV and resume properly, you can generate job interview. Then you can win the interview for the ultimate purpose of getting a job.
Thank you so much, sir. I hope our viewers will be benefited from this show. I hope everybody will get to know how to write their CV or resume properly. And if you want to know more about CV and resume, you can join us. You can enroll in Daffodil International University and then get the course Employability 360 degrees, so that you can get more knowledge, get more experiences about writing CV and resume. Thank you so much for staying with us. Thank you so much for watching Campus TV. Please stay tuned. If you want to know more about employability skills, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is called Employability 360 degree. Thank you so much for staying with us.